Hey guys, AllyZieMage here, and first off, I want to say thank you for helping me reach 60 subscribers. I hit 50 just a couple months ago, and I am just amazed at how quickly my subscriber count has been going up, because usually it's about 1 a month, and lately it's been like 4 or 5, and I'm just like, wow. There's a phone call. And it was one of those phone calls that just kind of no one was there. You answer and it's just like, Bidoo. That's the sound of them hanging out. Anyways, yeah, thank you so much. So I saw that this morning. I'm like, hey, let's do another video because I haven't done one in a while, a couple of days, whatever. And I figured it's about time that I talk about having mental issues or problems while in college, because that's something that I go through a lot and that I struggle with a lot, and it's something that I'm going through like very recently. I have an appointment today, and yeah, I figured it would be a good time to talk about all of that, tell you how you can cope, what resources should be available to you, and things like that. So yeah, let's get started. Also, real quick, can we just talk about either how my skin looks paler with this, or my skin makes this look hella dark? Because it's not supposed to be quite a black shade. It's like a almost black shade. But anyways, that's actually a segment into my first thing of dealing with mental issues while you're in college, is learn what your coping mechanisms are. Me personally, it's like putting on a lot of dark clothing, doing like heavy extreme makeup, and just like looking intimidating. If I'm going through mental things and I'm wearing like hella, like my makeup's on point, my clothes are on point, it's either I'm having like a really good day, I'm in a super great mood, or I'm having a really bad day and I just want to kill everyone. So instead, I'm just going to look hella badass so no one tries to talk to me. That is literally my line of thinking. So, and your coping mechanism can vary from person to person. Obviously, most of you probably aren't going to go to the extremes of super dark lipstick. It also matches my boyfriend's hoodie. You might have something out like going, sitting in a quiet area and drawing or reading or writing or expressing yourself in some form, or it might be just like vegging out, sitting in bed, watching Netflix while eating a gallon of Ben & Jerry's. Ben & Jerry's isn't even sold in a gallon. Whatever it is, it could be going and exercising. Exercising is a great thing to do if you have mental problems, but it's incredibly hard. Trust me, I know. It's point 2 then, exercise. It's one of those things that's proven, as a bio major, slightly bio major, it's proven that the hormones that get released because of exercise are really, really great. They boost your morale, they boost how you feel, it ups your energy. I know that's weird, you get tired from it, but you actually are more energetic afterwards, like during recovery and everything. And it gives you a sense of accomplishment because you're like, hey, look, I did a thing today. Which honestly, with mental issues, that can be really great, of just being able to look at what you've accomplished. But I also know it's incredibly hard to actually go and exercise, especially if the gym or wherever you go is super far away. For example, my rec center is on the other side of campus from my apartment. It's about as far away from my apartment as you can get while still being on campus. So what I'm doing is that I've signed up for 2 gym classes this term, and because gym classes at my school, they meet 2 times a week. So by that way, I have it 4 days of the week. That is the majority of the week that I am going and doing some form of activity for an hour every of those 4 days. And I'm not sure if it's going to help, but it's definitely not going to hurt. And then, as I just mentioned, one of the things that my counselor told me to do is, instead of looking at what you didn't accomplish that day, look at what you did accomplish. Even the simple things of, hey, I ate 2 meals. Sure, one of them might have been brownies, but that's still putting food and energy into your system. Being able to say even the small things of like, I took a shower, I did my laundry. Or if you can do big things of like, I went to the gym, I went and socialized, I did this homework assignment, I wrote that paper, I made an outline for that paper. You don't even have to finish it. Just look at what you have accomplished versus what you haven't accomplished. That can also be a really big help. And then the third point is this is going to go towards more like resources that are available to you, not things that you do in your everyday, or what you can do for yourself. But every single college has a counseling center. Mine's the SDCC, which I think is Student Development Center and something. I don't know. But they have trained counselors there. And at least for mine, you have walk-in hours. Every single day, there are walk-in hours that you don't have to schedule an appointment. You can just show up and be like, I'm not feeling great today. I want to talk to someone. I want to get help for this. So if you don't want to make a commitment of seeing the same therapist every single day and feeling like that obligation to show up to appointments and that you're like locking yourself into it, look at when the walk-in hours are. You no obligation to show up the next week, no obligation to make an appointment. You're not inconveniencing anyone if you don't show up, but you're also not inconveniencing anyone if you do. That's something that I've had an issue with before, is that I'm like, I feel like my mental stuff isn't actually that bad when it is. And I'll be like, oh, I'm taking this appointment, I'm taking this spot that someone else could use, that someone else might need, and I'm not letting them have that resource because I'm taking it up. With those walk-in hours, they're very rarely ever. Like any of the times that I've been, they've never been overworked. They've always had plenty of staff. To be available during that time because they know that they're going to be getting more people during that time. And I also talked to the therapist that I see regularly about it, and she was like, oh, I've never thought that someone comes to counseling too much or that they take too much time. Because how they work is that if there is more demand, they will hire more counselors. Mental health is something that is extremely important to colleges now because they know how bad it can get and how it can affect your school. And they're all about making sure you graduate on time. Like, this comes down to a very impersonal statistical thing, but they are more likely to hire more counselors to make sure you graduate on time. Which, I mean, yes, not the best reason, but hey, they will still hire more. So don't feel bad if you're taking up more time. And there generally is a hotline on your campus that you can call of if something's really bad and there's no one there. And in my experience, they always have open appointments. Like, they always have counselors set aside time in their schedule to not book other students, so that if they get emergency appointments or someone that's like, I need to get in today, who can I talk to? And like, if they can't make the walk-in hours, they always have other counselors available. In my experience, I've never had a bad counselor in school. I've had bad counselors outside of school, but they're all very accommodating and understanding. Even if it's just some of the graduate students, like doctoral students, they'll have interns in there to fill up in that time of like emergency appointments. Or they'll sometimes be fully trained counselors, but I've been to 4 different ones at my school, and I've liked all of them. I've never had an issue with any of them. I do have one that I prefer because I see her the most, so she knows about like everything that I'm going through and all of my history and things like that, but it's never an issue to just go in and see a different one if I have to. They're very considering and nice and easygoing about it, and it's always a very good atmosphere. And your counseling center should also have group appointments that like a bunch of people come in at once if they all have like a similar fear of like there's a lot of like test stress things or stress in general, or learning about good sleeping or eating habits, things like that. or just like general appointments of being like, let's sit down in a circle and talk about our feelings. I personally haven't attended any of those. I've considered it, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna sign up, and then they're like, we already have too many people, I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, it's okay, I waited too long, it's on me. So those things actually do get filled up, and when I talked to one of the admin staff about it once, they're like, yeah, next year we're going to like hold more of these programs because there's such a great interest in it. So they do take into consideration like the need, and they're like, if there is demand, they will create more, which is wonderful. And then of course there's the other things of like going to your friends about stuff. I personally don't prefer doing that because that was my only resource when I was like in high school, and I felt like I just weighed them down too much with my problems, and I was just like, listen to how horrible I feel. And I didn't really like that, so I don't really go to my friends that much with issues anymore. Like my really close friends I will, but not like everyone. Or even like my close friends that aren't super close. You guys, like my close friends that aren't best friends, I won't go to them. But yeah, it's just, I prefer going to the SDCC, but it could be different for you. Generally, friends are going to be very understanding about things, if you're comfortable talking to them. If you're not, but you've gotten close to like professors, and you talk to them outside of class, a lot of the times that they will be very understanding as well of someone that you can talk to, and then it's more of a, not unbiased, but it's more of a like, not directly impacting your social life. It's someone that's outside of your social life, but still more personal than a counselor. Yes, that is the analogy. That's not even an analogy, that's what I'm going to go with though, of explaining this. But yeah, it's important to get help if you're going through anything at all, even if it's the smallest of things. Like I said, I've talked to my counselor about this before because it's been something that I've had an issue with, and she's like, I've never thought someone comes in too much. I've never thought that someone is here when they shouldn't be. She's like, oh, if I had it my way, every single person in the school would go to counseling, whether they feel like they need it or not, because it is something that is good to help de-stress you. And it's good to be like, oh yeah, I have like this little issue, and they're like, oh, here's some things that you can do to help with it, and you'll be like, oh wow, that's amazing. I'm so much better now. Woo! So don't be afraid to go and get the resources, especially the ones that are offered through your school, because they are there for you. You are paying for them. If you ever feel uncomfortable about doing something like this, you just remember, that's wrapped in with your tuition bill. Take advantage of it. That's always the best advice, is like, if you're unsure about doing something on campus, like going and seeing that movie, just be like, yo, I'm already paying for this. Go and do it. But yeah, that is the rest of this college talk rant thing about Bob. So let me know if you have any questions down below, and yeah, hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this and want more of this content, or that like button to let me know that you liked it, or that dislike button if you really hate me. Have yourself a magical day. I shall see you next time. Bye.